Hey mate, I've heard you've been having trouble with back pain and whatnot. You've clicked on the right video then. Today I'm going to go through my top 3 ways to give your back some much needed relief. Okay, so in this video I'm going to go through 2 great releases involving around the hip flexors, TFL and whatnot as a whole, how you can get stuck into those. And then we're going to finish off with a bit of a hip flexor stretch. Okay, so the point of all these is it's not going to be a one size fits all approach. You've got to try all 3 of these and just pick out which one works for you the most. So what I'd recommend with all of these is if you've got back pain, just try out each one of these and just make a note of which one gave you the most relief and which one gave you the least relief. Okay, some people tend to respond to stretching, some people tend to respond to manual therapy work. It's really up to you. Okay, so make sure, please, before you do any of these, to test and retest. And also make sure not to get too caught up on these things. Sometimes you can get stuck into your hip flexors, then you end up rolling out your quad, your calf, and your whole body, finding all these sore spots, and alarm bells are ringing, thinking, I didn't know these muscles were sore, so there must be something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you, okay? Everyone's got sore spots on their body, but not every sore spot on your body is giving someone pain or issue, okay? So just hit the spots that give you the most relief, and then move on to moving around, going for a walk, getting stuck into a workout. This stuff is purely here to give you temporary relief from your back pain so you can get on with your day and get on with the things that you love doing and start building those more positive experiences in your life so that you stop associating your back pain with things like sitting down for long periods or squatting or deadlifting and these sorts of things, okay? Okay, so getting on to the first one, we wouldn't have a lower back pain relief video without getting stuck into your TFL or your hip flexors, okay? So something about getting stuck into those hip flexors seems to give relief to people who have lower back pain. The general idea of this is that people are walking around like this, squashing their lower back, and the hip flexors are just really switched on. So the idea is to roll out these so that it decompresses the lower back. Is that exactly what's going on? I don't know exactly. A lot of new stuff is coming out that posture isn't a huge determinant of lower back pain. Either way, this really helps. It helped me and it will definitely help you out. So what you need to do is grab your foam roller with this, and we're going to find where our TFL is, because this is one of the hardest thing I find with clients. So if we zoom in onto my hips. So what we do is I want you to put your hand just in this general area. And what you're going to do with your leg is you're going to move it left to right. And you should feel a muscle moving when you're moving that leg. If you're feeling that muscle moving, that's where we're going to hit your hip flexor. So I've got my spot here or here. I know where it is. So what we'll do is you press onto the foam roller. We don't want to be just facing straight down on here. We want to put a bit more pressure. So what we'll do is we'll actually lift the hip up, and you're going to be in a bit of a 45-degree angle on that spot that we just found before. So you can start rolling up and down just to kind of see where that spot is and what's sore and what's not sore. So once you find that sore spot, I found it about here, we're going to do the first thing. So the first thing is going to roll towards the floor and then away from the floor. Okay, so we're just hitting that general area. Okay, really hitting that spot. The next one is find that angle, that sorest for you. So mine's about here. And if you watch what I'm doing with this leg, I'm going to bend that leg and then go bring the leg to the floor and then away from the floor. Okay. So this usually works actually best with a ball, but today we're just going to try it out with a foam roller. So just going internal and then external rotation like you've got a windscreen wiper. Another way we can hit the flexor is going that 45-degree angle is to do a bit of a rubbing action, okay, or scrubbing action. So we're going to pin down a bit of a sore spot and we're going to slide on the foam roller like we're scrubbing that area, and that's actually working really well. I highly recommend this one, okay? So try out a few of those techniques, pick out which ones work for you. If this doesn't work so much, you can try the next one. Okay, so for this next one, I must warn you before you try this one, we're getting stuck into the psoas, and most of the time, the psoas is really sore. And if you've got back pain, if you've got things going on there, it's probably gonna be even sore. So I'm using a lacrosse ball today, but I highly recommend you start off with a tennis ball. And if that's not hard enough, then move on to something a little bit harder. But start with the tennis ball before you do these things, because it can get really gnarly in there, okay, really junky. So what we'll do is you grab this ball and you just want to find where your belly button is. So if I go up to the camera, so if our belly button is here, we're just going to go beyond, just to the side of the belly button, start moving around this kind of area, okay? So you're just going to move to the side there. I'm placing it here. Then we'll come down, okay? So we're going to press down on here. So first, when we are sitting down on here, it's you might be already tender, but we're just really going to start going up and down, or even left to right, just to find out where our sore spots and actually what's going on down there. Okay, so you might have one side that's sorer than the other, so make sure to just check on that. So we're going left to right, for up and down, and I've already found a bit of a sore spot on this angle here. And the first thing that we can do is we can just either lie down on there just as a bit of a release, or we can start with an active release, which is we lie down and then we actually kind of press up a little bit, okay? Just being nice and careful in this because it's a very sensitive spot. So we can actually do reps doing this, and it's actually can be a great release, okay? The other one we can do is more of a contract relax, whereas we actually can tense the muscle a little bit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then relax into the muscle. So you might be able to find that you can go deeper into the muscle. So you can try a few reps of that before you try that release. Or otherwise, you can actually use your leg because it is connecting up to your hip flexor. You can press onto the sore spot here, and then you can actually bend your leg forward and back like so, okay? And you may find that's actually hitting your hip flexor. You've just got to get it on the right spot, but you'll know when you hit it, okay? So go through those, see if that gets you any relief. If not, we're going to try a stretch and see if that helps. All right, so we're going to finish off with a hip flexor stretch. So there's so many different hip flexor stretches, but this is my favorite that I used to use for years when I used to work in an office job, call center type situation. And it's really good because you can do this anywhere. You can do this sitting on the floor, especially if you're in the office. You can definitely use this on the chair. I used to use this plenty of times, as I mentioned. So, and you might have just one side that's tighter than the other, or if you stretch one side, that brings you a bit more relief on your back. So just to really make sure to take note which helps you the most, so that you don't have to waste your time just stretching your whole body or trying all these different solutions that don't really do anything. Just find the one thing that works for you, or which side to hit the most that's going to help you out. So we've all done this kind of stretch before. Is all we're doing is lifting up this leg and we're hooking it onto our knee here. And what we're doing here is you're going to push down the knee and then lean forward a little bit. So from the front, it's going to look like this. So I'm going to press down my knee and then lean forward here. And you can actually move around a bit your torso just to kind of hit any spots, okay? So make sure you get a firm grip so you're kind of prying your leg into external rotation here. So what you do is you pull it up, push down, lean forward, and you can start to kind of move away from the body, okay? Just to kind of make sure you get in that direction. So if I go on this side here, I get a nice stretch in the front of my hip, okay? So you just got to play around with this and just see which brings you the most relief. You've just got to really, you can push down on your leg. That, if I push down on my thigh here, that really gives me a nice stretch. You've just got to explore those different angles. So the way it's going to look like from the side, pop the leg up like that, press down here, and I'm just prying that leg, pushing down here and then lifting that leg at the same time. And just trying to open up that hip and then turning out, okay? All right. Don't be afraid to explore all the different angles that can help you out the most. Find what works for you and then just keep on doing it, okay? Okay, there you have it. There are my top 3 ways to relieve lower back pain. I hope this really helps you out. I totally understand where you come from, lower back pain. It can be a real pain in the ass, okay? If you've got lower back pain, but you're looking to return to the gym, like I once was, please make sure to check out my 7 lifts to bulletproof your body after injury. It goes through all the different movements and basically just shows you a better way of doing things when you go back to the gym. So you're less likely to re-injure yourself, feel much more confident, and get the most out of your workouts in the future without getting injured, of course. So I'll drop that down below in the description. Please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. My name's Adam, and I help you return to the gym and stay there.